Today guys, I'm gonna show you how to train cue ball control, how I personally do it, and also I think it's gonna give you a framework how to do by yourself. I think the framework which I use to improve my cue ball control is pretty logical and also provides me a certain feeling when I do it right. So let's say this is a basic lineup. This is a good lineup for numerous reasons, especially for the beginner players, to understand what I'm doing. So let's say you want to work on certain shots. Let's say you want to work on stun run. Stun run basically is the shot where the cue ball stops and then goes further. Let's say you have blew up the spot. So my task is to punch the ball and get the cue ball right here. And let's say you play the shot and you're not getting that kind of punch stroke. So you want to get this shot, right? But you feel that you are getting a shot more like this. So you're not getting any punch. So there are key things which are impacting the way you are moving the cue ball. So first is your height on the cue ball. So which height on the cue ball you play. So you play center, above center, below center, low on the cue ball, high on the cue ball. So that's the number one thing. Second thing is the speed you play. Speed has massive impact, the way the cue ball reacts. Speed. Third is your backswing length, short backswing, medium backswing, long backswing. That has impact to the way cue ball is reacting. It's related to the speed and your grip. Light grip, medium grip, tight grip. So I'm gonna talk about most simple things is your height and the speed. So let's say, okay, you don't know how to play a stun run shot. You want to keep cue ball here, but you just don't have understanding. So, okay, so start very simple. You play a stop shot. So it's gonna be probably below the center, and from the 10 scale, I'm gonna play maybe speed 3. Cue ball will stop. If your task is to play stun run, you can keep the same height on the cue ball, but slightly make the speed less and see what's gonna happen. So let's say I'm aiming to the same cue ball height, but playing a little bit softer, speed 2. And you see, cue ball made a stun run. So this is how you can change understanding about the cue ball control. I didn't work on my backswing, I didn't work purposely on my grip, I just worked on the height and the speed, okay? Now, I'm gonna make a height a little bit higher, and I'm gonna play the speed I played previously. Just below the center, yeah, and speed 4. So it moved even less, it moved slightly forwards, but it was moving less. So what I have to do to make cue ball move a little bit more, I have to change the height. So I'm just gonna play the same speed, but I'm just gonna aim around the center of the cue ball. And you're gonna see how it's gonna move a little bit more. You see, aiming higher, same speed. And the cue ball moves more. So what happens if I'm gonna aim higher? It's gonna move even more. So it's gonna be more like a punch stroke, a little bit more speed, like maybe 5. Okay, so the cue ball moved a lot. So to make it move less, I can increase the speed, because then the cue ball is almost like jumping on the air. So I'm gonna use speed 6 with that kind of shot. So you see, only changing the height and speed, you're getting different results. So this is for the simple straight shot. So let's say if I want to play this red and get a stun over there, I can experiment and see what happens. So let's say I know that if I'm gonna play just below the center softly, the cue ball is gonna go right here. If I'm gonna aim higher on the cue ball using the same speed, I'm gonna get cue ball right there. So I was aiming here, now I'm gonna aim here and watch the cue ball. So that's the way it works. And if you are guessing, you have to experiment. So as I told you, I was aiming just above center, got the cue ball here. So if I'm gonna play around the center, now I'm gonna get cue ball there. Plain simple. And what I see often from the players that they are playing lots of shots, but they do not really realizing what they are doing with the cue ball. And that makes their cue ball control a little bit more complicated. Let's say I have ball on the pink ball spot and ball on the black ball spot. and I want to get slightly above black ball spot cue ball right here, yeah? I play the shot from this kind of angle, and if I get this result, let's say, so what happened, cue ball got here, now you have to understand the reasons why. So I was aiming low and I played too much speed. That's the reason why the cue ball went there, yeah? So first thing what you have to change is the height. Keep the same speed and just change the height. So I was aiming pretty low on the cue ball, that's why the cue ball went there. So I'm just gonna aim one level above. So I was aiming here, now I'm gonna aim to the cue ball a little bit higher. Watch the result. Different kind of result. Yeah, this time I played a little bit softer. I didn't keep the same speed. So I'm gonna play the same speed for the reference number 3, but just watch the direction cue ball is gonna go. Yeah, it's going more that way. And the previous shot was correct one. So I changed the height on the cue ball and I changed the speed the way I delivered the cue ball, and I got position right here. So the first step to improve your cue ball control is to work on the height and the speed. And other things like your backswing length or your grip strength is gonna be automatically improved subconsciously. But if that not enough, I just want to provide a certain feel when I do it right, what kind of feel I feel when I hit the ball. So let's say if I play a stun run shot for the black, I'm just gonna exaggerate the feel. So this is gonna be the most tight grip I feel. I'm gonna show you how the grip works for me. I'm gonna play a stun run over there. So I'm gonna punch the ball, aim slightly above the center, and play. So I want to play the shot with the longer backswing because that provides me a certain feel. And this shot, I lost the cue ball because I potted the ball over there. And I have to maybe aim a little bit lower. But look at the grip, I'm gonna just give you a feel. Okay. So it's more like a punch stroke. It's like there is no follow through. It's like I'm holding the cue neutrally for that kind of speed shot. And also, I have to also aim a little bit lower. Watch the cue ball now. A little bit better. It's like a neutral feel. And when you're playing, let's say, topspin shot, softly, for the black, the feel is a little bit lighter. There is not enough. There is, you play more from your cue weight rather than your muscles. The backswing is less. There is no grip at the end. So this is the last stage when you work on the cue ball control to see what kind of grip helps you to achieve a certain cue ball control as you wish. And again, I prefer work more on the height and the speed I play because that subconsciously helps my backswing, which was on the topspin shot a little bit less for the soft shot and for the stun run with power a little bit more. It's a totally feel thing. Somebody are doing backswing more, somebody are doing backswing less, but basically you have to achieve a certain feel which gives you certainty that what are you doing is gonna make you achieve the result you want. And that's the framework I use. You can also play a screwback shots. Let's say a very good practice, pink up the spot. And your task is to make position for the blue right there, okay? Slightly off straight pink. And it's a very good practice to get a nice cue ball there. So, I got slightly lower. Now I have to understand the reasons why I got slightly lower. And what I felt that I played not enough speed and I didn't time the ball properly. It was a little bit too rigid movement. So now I'm gonna want to make a little bit more softer movement on the shot. And now I got a pretty nice angle, but I want it to be here, so there should be a little bit more feel in the shot. I have to feel the grip a little bit lighter because it was too firm. So the screwbacks are a really good way of training cue control. The last thing I want to be on this shot is to play too quick. And this time, I made my backswing a little bit softer with a little bit delay, but it's totally a feel thing. For you, could be totally different. And this is a very good practice to train that and find your own way to hit the ball properly with proper timing and get the cue ball right. So that's my recommendation for you. The framework, again, is simple. Work on the height on the cue ball, speed on the cue ball, and that's naturally is gonna help you work on your backswing length. Some shots are longer backswing, some shots are slower backswing, and shorter backswing. You know, the game is the feel. It also requires understanding. So yeah, that's the video. That's how I train. And I'm really know and feel that it's gonna help you to be a better snooker player, make more breaks. That's it, until next time.